It's a beautiful afternoon in Lincoln, Nebraska from Memorial Stadium. It's a football Saturday. We've got the annual red-white scrimmage from Memorial Stadium. For 28 years, this has been part of Nebraska tradition. It's the trip down the tunnel out of the locker room to the field. It's Nebraska's tunnel walk. This was the brainchild of longtime sports celebrity Jeff Schmall, director of Husker Vision back in the 90s, the late Jeff Schmall. And it has continued to grow and be a fan favorite here in Lincoln.
Yeah, his vision has become legendary. It's the stuff that kids want to do here in the state of Nebraska. He'd be proud.
That tunnel always lined with fans as the pregame ritual continues here in Lincoln. And to a crowd of 45,000 plus, here come the Huskers. Yeah, the environment here in Lincoln, Nebraska never disappoints. Welcome in to Memorial Stadium. I'm Larry Putney, along with longtime Nebraska running back Damon Benning. Great to have you with us from here at Memorial Stadium. Boy, things have changed around here a bit over the last year.
Yeah.
And the atmosphere, it matches those two.
I tell you what, the energy is here. A lot of new additions, a lot of new vibe. But the fans, they've got an expectation level, and this team will bring it to them.
Well, let's talk about quarterback first for Nebraska. New guy under center in Casey Thompson.
Yeah, he's going to be the guy. And they want good, quiet competition, but he has emerged. He's a professional. He goes about his business. He trains really hard. He stays in the playbook. He'll be a good one to watch today.
You see Casey Thompson's numbers there, and how about a quintet of new coaches for Nebraska?
Yeah, you get Coach Whipple's experience, you get Mickey Joseph's toughness and energy, you get Don Riola's his effort level, the professionalism of Brian Applewhite, and the special qualities of Bill Bush.
And of course, we have to talk about the new running back crew. Of course, Yant is back again, but this is a new crop that looks really good through spring.
Right, obviously Ramir Johnson, the incumbent, but Yant has kept his weight down. He's looked good this spring, looking for a little validation. Are the 14 days what we'll see today?
Looking forward to talking about all of the changes throughout the afternoon. It's the 2022 annual red-white scrimmage from right here in Lincoln. Ready to get it going here from Memorial Stadium, but before we do, let's go down to the field. Megan McEwen is with Scott Frost.
Coach, coming into this spring game, a lot of things you get to work on, but what are you looking for in particular?
You know, this is kind of the culmination of spring ball, and we've got a lot of good work in practice, so I want to see the guys enjoy the fans out here and see who's going to compete well.
You have a great crowd, a lot of new players, but you also have some new coaches. How much is this kind of game an opportunity for you to start working on the chemistry with your coaching staff?
Yeah, I think it matters. You know, we'll work together on the headset today and get some practice with that. It's been a good marriage so far through spring, and we got a lot of good pieces that we've added to the program.
Looking forward to it, Coach. Thanks so much.
All right, thank you very much, Megan. Thank you to Coach Frost for joining us before the festivities began. There's a look at Mark Whipple, new offensive coordinator for Nebraska. How are they going to score this today? Well, it's going to be a bit unique because we have offense against defense. So the rules here for 12-minute quarters, you can see how they will be points scored by the defense to keep this competitive. So it's going to be an offense versus defense game. And here we go, under center. Casey Thompson drops back right away out of the flat. Pulled down for the completion for about 10 yards, 11 yards, a first down.
And ain't workature right here. Take a look at the touch. The nice hands. Only place this ball can go. Outstanding job of hanging on. He's been a pleasant surprise this spring. He's had a lot of opportunities with the tight ends banged up. Nate's taking advantage of it.
Flag on the second play from scrimmage as Ramir Johnson had a bit of room there.
And that's one of the things early on, right? The staff talked about. They wanted the 14 practices to really show today, and that meant not a whole lot of laundry on the field. Not a little bit of an ominous start.
So this is the revamped Nebraska offense at the direction of Mark Whipple. 6 transfer starters on offense for Nebraska, including quarterback Casey Thompson. Thompson keeps that. He's touched up after a short gain of about 3 or 4 yards. Thud tackling here, so they're not taking the quarterback to the ground. Obviously, the green jersey. There's Coach Whipple.
It really provided a lot of stability, a lot of poise. Kind of been there, done that. You get the sense in talking to him. And there isn't a lot he hasn't seen. I think he's been really good for Coach Frost.
So out of the gun. Dropping back, and he's going to be touched up again. And boy, there's the guy who's just going to be disruptive. Garrett Nelson, 6'3", 245, junior out of Scottsbluff, the undisputed leader of this defense.
Yeah, he's only got one motor, and it revs on high. He's done a lot better job. He's kind of grown into that, just the high energy guys. Add a little technique to his game, too. He's got a little bend. He is explosive. And as you can see, he's continued to grow.
Yeah. You like that. You like Garrett Nelson, Caleb Tanner, kind of that combination on the outside for Nebraska?
I do. They're going to be good against the run. We'll see if they can generate some individual pass rushing. That's the key for this team.
Completion there from Thompson. Porpture again with the reception. It's going to bring up 4th down.
And the sack obviously sets the team back a little bit. As you see, the Whites off to the good start. See the exchange between Whipple and Casey Thompson early. There's going to be a lot of teaching, a lot of tutelage that's going on between those two. Really adept at handling these quarterbacks.
So in there to punt it away is Brian Buschini. Buschini, the FCS punter of the year last year, and that will get a round of applause given Nebraska's struggles on special teams. He unleashes one.
Yeah, he's going to be an outstanding addition. They've gotten better in the punting and place kicking game, so I think Nebraska's excited. If all else is equal and special teams is just better, that's got to be worth 2 or 3 in the win column.
Let's watch this again from Brian Buschini, 6', 215 out of Montana, played at Montana. Again, the FCS punter of the year last year. What a terrific addition to this Nebraska special teams.
Yeah, and then with a defense that's going to have to kind of fill in some pieces, the punting game and field position could be huge for Nebraska this year.
So this will be our first look at quarterback Logan Smothers. Drops back, flat, overthrows his intended receiver, but Ty.
The quarterbacks, especially, they're kind of a blank slate, right? Yeah. It's like molding clay, and Coach Whipple comes with a lot of expertise and a lot of coaching prowess. And I think for these guys, learning the new system, they've embraced it. It's been a lot of fun for them, kind of understanding a new language. I think a lot of people thought Smothers may just kind of concede, but he's really flourished this spring thus far.
Touched up after a short gain. A.J. Rollins with the grab.
Another guy, Larry, that has had a lot of opportunities this spring with Vokalek and Fedoni being out. Chris Hickman has surgery. The young tight ends have really had a chance to get some reps. A.J. Rollins has been a pleasant surprise.
There's Fedoni, Thomas Fedoni, the 6'6" freshman out of Council Bluffs, has been injured. Missed last year with the injury. Has missed much of this spring. Travis Vokalek, as you mentioned, is out for the spring game. Throw over the middle. Great grab. Anthony Grant, there's that explosive transfer. Anthony Grant from FSU.
I tell you, he has had a good spring. I was curious to see how his junior college tape would correlate to the transition to the Power 5 level. He's been as good as advertised.
There's Grant again. One of those quick change kind of guys with good speed and can break it open. Sees the hole really well.
Yeah, he's kind of that downhill guy, too. I don't know what his top-end speed will be, but he's very good in short spaces and change of direction.
Grant rushed for 2,549 yards in 2 years. Junior college. Former Florida State. There he is again. To the left side. Short gain. That'll bring up third down.
Nebraska's offensive line is going to be a work in progress. I think they're trying to figure out a way to get to 8 or 9 in terms of solid reps. Obviously, without Teddy Prohaska and Turner Corcoran coming off of surgery, there's been some opportunities. The second group right now trying to really establish how they want to play football.
So third and 9, ball on the 35 here for the offense. Up top again goes Smothers. Intended for Omar Manning, incomplete. Nice job in coverage there by Jamari Butler. Butler, another one of those young players that Nebraska really likes defensively.
Yeah, you keep an eye on him. He's had a very good spring. He's added good weight. He's arguably the twitchiest of the bunch in terms of quick twitch out there. And you saw the little dip and the nice hip bend to turn the corner on a pass rush. He's one to watch.
Tommy Hill back to take the punt. He'll grab it at the 25. They're not going to go to the ground or return punts and kicks here in this spring game. Tommy Hill, another one of those who will handle the punting and return duties for Nebraska. Transfer from Arizona State.
He's been dynamic thus far. He's really hit the ground running. He's versatile, can do a lot of things. Shoot, he could play some offense too. He's that good of an athlete, as you see what he'll be able to do in the return game as well.
The Bush, special teams coordinator you saw there, was really an area of emphasis for Nebraska during this spring camp. I mean, I think Scott explained to you in the conversation, typically, you know, you don't run full kickoff returns in spring, and they did it a lot.
Yeah, they went live a fair amount with their kick coverage, and I think for him it was an opportunity to just continue to grow, right? You get a new vantage point, a little teaching from Coach Bush, who's now on the field playing a much more active role in terms of the special teams. And then how they would break it up in practice. Really good stretches of periods, you know, 12, 15 minutes at a time of good, hard special teams.
What a great opportunity for some of these young players to get an experience of what a near full Memorial Stadium is like before you have to do it on Saturday in the fall. Let's go back down to the field to Megan Yakuit. She's with a very special guest.
That's right, gentlemen. I am with former Nebraska All-American Don Riola back here at Memorial Stadium. How cool is it to be back here in a place where you had so much success in your life?
It's always special to come back here and to share with my whole family. It's where you can't put it into words, you know. And my brother's coaching now, so it's a big deal.
Your brother is back on coaching staff here. What kind of conversations have you two had about having that family link stay here in Nebraska? Yeah,
we get to talk about it every day. You know, you kind of forget how special it is just because you take it for granted because it's here every day. But he's bringing it back. You know, he's bringing back the physicality and the unity and all those things. So we talk every day, and it's a work in progress, but he's doing a good job.
Speaking of physicality, you had some battles back when you were playing here in 2000. What's your best memory that happened in this stadium?
Every Saturday. My memory, every Saturday, I don't think there was one game that was more than the other. It was, you know, it was the balloons flying, the people packing the stands, and that's not changing. And so every Saturday was great for me, and that'll always be close to my heart.
Now, talking to Dame up there, he's in my ear saying he loves your hat. Can you give us the significance of the hat that you're wearing today?
Well, that's what we do here. We run the ball. And on top of that, my son's a quarterback. So I tell him the quarterback's best friend is a run game. So we run the damn ball. Love
that. And we're getting the burning game going here in this spring game. Guys, listen back up to you in the booth.
Megan, thanks so much. Always good to hear from Dominic Riola.
One of the best in the business. Good person, great player. He is fantastic.
You saw right before that the first grab from Trey Palmer. What a grab it was as he laid out on the throw from Casey Thompson. Trey Palmer, one of those players who really has the coaches excited. Mickey Joseph brought him here from LSU. Great upside for Trey Palmer.
Yeah, he is explosive. Didn't go the way he wanted to as a natural every down receiver, but found a way to continue to contribute on special teams. Got a punt return and a kick return in the SEC for touchdowns, so he can definitely go.
And there is Bushini with a kick out of bounds. Well, every Big Ten team, every Big Ten sport, customize your way on the new Big Ten Plus app powered by Big Ten Network. Stream hundreds of live, non-televised events plus next day re-airs. It all adds up to a bigger Big Ten. Download and subscribe today.
Take a look at Chubba Purdy coming in for the second offense. Hey, quarterbacks up, kind of still getting their feet underneath them a little bit. Maybe the nerves trying to settle in. New system. It's going to be a work in progress.
There now is Chubba Purdy at quarterback for Nebraska. There is Ramir Johnson with the carry. There's Chubba Purdy, redshirt freshman of Queen Creek, Arizona. Played 1 year at Florida State. Injured most of the season.
Really good athlete. He's done a good job of getting in shape here. He's changed his body type a little bit. Still trying to get healthy. He hasn't been full go so far this spring, but it's a good opportunity for him to continue to showcase his growth.
Into Ramir Johnson once again. Leans forward up near the 50-yard line.
Good look at number 72 in white. Nat Hushmaker in the middle. He's a big, strong body. Randolph Kapai fitting in the run game, number 30. You know, at home, it's difficult here, Larry, and for our fan base, because if you're watching, you want to see guys make tackles, and if you're on defense, it's very difficult to look crisp and be sound, knowing you can't get guys to the ground. There'll be a lot of guys waiting for the second half.
That's right. They'll tackle in the second. Yeah, they're not yards after. You know, you think maybe he had a first down, but he was touched about 4 yards prior.
And it's you want to be sudden and quick and have a lot of bounce, but when you can't finish, it slows you down a little bit.
What a great afternoon here at Memorial Stadium.
Must had a fair amount of walk-up. It looks about over half full, right? I think it was announced at 47,000.
Yeah, it's
47,000 tickets sold, right? Oh, the wind caught that one.
Grabbed it, took it straight sideways. It's going to be out at about the 38-yard line of the kick by Detlefson.
It's interesting. You look at the flag in the south end zone, and it's blowing north to south. You look in the north end zone, it's almost left to right. This is a little bit of a swirl. And it is very windy. It's one of the more deceptive things about playing here, isn't it? It doesn't feel like much, but down on the field, it always seems to have an impact.
It swirls, there's no doubt. Well, it has been very much a defensive game so far. Great to see the weather south at 16, but I think they were going to say up, gusts up to 25 is what I saw earlier today, so we might be experiencing a few of those gusts here at the stadium. Back in at quarterback, Casey Thompson. Moving back for a little scoot there by Anthony Grant. Anthony Grant near side, look out! Anthony Grant to the 20, to the 10, touchdown, Grant! That's that explosiveness you were talking about.
How about the change of direction at the line of scrimmage? He's very good in short area bursts. You watch the 2-foot plant here, and he's out the back gate. That's a beautiful run. That probably goes for 6 with or without a whistle.
60 yards of the touchdown run.
Well, that is some nifty footwork right there. Again, I'm not quite sure about the top end speed, right?
Yeah.
But he's so twitchy. It's very hard to wrap up. Typically has made the first guy miss all spring.
Extra point is good, and there's a look at the 5'11", 210-pound junior out of Buford, Georgia. Yes, even in the spring, the balloons get released. The red on the board here in the annual red-white game, 11-7. There's Grant.
This is a beautiful run. Probably going to get undersold a little bit. We're in scrimmage. It's a spring game, but that showed me a little bit. Nice vision, good patience, then the initial burst. It's a lot of what you want to see in the ground game.
I didn't kick it outside right away either. He read the hole and got through the hole and then kicked it. He's gone.
And you can definitely see the energy has kicked up a little bit. It is a highly competitive room with the running backs, and Yant has worked his way into trying to be a guy that they can count on. He's got his fitness right, and Coach Applewhite is a pro's pro. He may be the sneaky best addition of his staff.
Yeah, they've certainly responded well to Brian Applewhite in that running back room. And to a man, you hear about the energy that he's brought, but also a certain level of professionalism as well.
He really settled that room down. I think he's establishing roles. He's you know, how they're going to do business. He's a protocol guy. Really buttoned up that room. I'm impressed.
So Yant is in the backfield. Yant gets the carry again. There's where the touch-up hurts a guy like Yant, who's probably going to bust a couple of there right at the line of scrimmage, but gets touched up.
I tell you, Mosai Newsome is probably thinking he made that play. May have to put his shoulder back intact.
Let's go down to the field. Megan's with Coach.
Coach, we get a live play-by-play with you right now, seeing what you got in these girls so far. First off, Anthony Grant with that touchdown. What did you see there? Yeah,
it's so hard to tell. You know, we're going thud. We've had a lot of good work over the spring. We want to keep guys healthy. It's hard to tell if we would have got tackled or not. Puts a lot on these referees to try to decide if somebody's down or not.
What are your thoughts so far on the defensive efforts?
Our defense has showed a lot of improvement over the spring. I've been really happy with them. And so far, they're winning the scrimmage as I can see it.
And then in this type of scrimmage, I know it's hard to tell, but when you have players that can make plays in the run game, like a Grant, what is he going to bring potentially to your offense dynamic-wise?
Yeah, we've been a good running team. I think we can get better, and part of that's got to be that we get better up front, and part of it's having some more weapons in the backfield, and I think the guys we have now have a chance to create some more big plays for us.
All right, Coach, we'll be talking to you a little bit later. Appreciate the time.
Thanks, Megan. You saw Nebraska defense come with the blitz there.
Yeah, he would have got home.
Yeah.
A little miscommunication up front at the right tackle spot. Can't leave a free runner here. Nebraska ended up bringing 4, which is plenty of, you know, if you're an offensive lineman, right? You got 5 on 4. You should be good there. A little miscommunication.
So once again, the white, the defense holds up. Offense about ready to come back on the field. Under the direction of Chubba Purdy.
Yeah, we'll see what happens in the second half, but this is not quite what if you would have asked me what I would have based seeing the first 14, you know, a few of the first 14 practices versus what I'm seeing today. Defense is playing better than I would have thought going in if you would have asked me.
So Purdy back out there at quarterback for the offense. Out into the slant, look for the double pass. We're going to see who's touched up for a loss.
A little bit of trickeration early.
Delonte Brown looked downfield after the catch. Now, is this one of those situations where you think one team has an advantage based on thud here? I mean, is it the defense?
Early on, I thought it was the offense because they brought more back. Right, I know it was a new system, but I like the skill level of the offense originally. But right now, This defense has really settled in. Color me impressed early on. Another good pass rush.
Flipped it out. There is Trey Palmer with the grab. Palmer down that far side.
Like Garrett Nelson is just going to work. Watch the little dip and the subtle bend right there. And, you know, Graham Banks just can't get his hands on it. It doesn't look like much, but when you can sink your hips at that type of speed, you better be able to use your hands and have better footwork as a tackle. Really changes the leverage that an offensive lineman can touch a guy. Those 6'7" guys aren't used to bending down that far. That's a long way to drop.
Great throw and catch. Purdy right on target.
There's that man.
There for the catch again, A.J. Rollins.
Good pitch and catch. This is the kind of spring that Rollins has had. As we take a look at the slow-mo, how about the camera work? Go get it, big fella. I'm pretty happy for him. I think coming out a little maligned, not enough targets in high school. You heard some criticism. He's an amazing athlete. I'm excited to see him flourish.
27-yard gain on the grab by Rollins. Carry there by Ramir Johnson. Here's another look at that grab.
Yeah, watch him go get it. He was a great basketball player coming out, so you know he can high point a ball. Good patience from Purdy, knowing the sideline is his friend. My guy can get it or no one else. Nice toe touch there, too. That's what they're looking to see from him. The tight end, Becton, their tight end coach is a tremendous coach. Everybody gets better on his watch. You expect good ascent. Rollins is just following right along in that path. In Becton, they trust.
That's going to do it for the first quarter here at Memorial Stadium. White on top, 14-7 in this annual red-white scrimmage.
First quarter. Timeout on the field.
We'll be back. More action here in Lincoln. That's a Saturday for all fans here in Lincoln, Nebraska at Memorial Stadium. 14-7, White on top in this annual red-white scrimmage. Well, you really like the play of Nick Henrich, one of the top recruits in the country out of Omaha Burke just a couple of years ago.
Yeah, fantastic toughness. He's a really good athlete, and when he's healthy, he's productive. He's continuing to evolve. He's kind of settled in now, just playing inside. He's an emerging leader on this bunch.
Under some pressure, throws it incomplete. Incomplete from Chubba Purdy.
You see he's playing next to Maga Clement too, without Reimer playing, and the fans know watching Deuce last year in limited action, he flashed. He's extremely athletic. They said he's starting to grow too in terms of grasping the system. They start big concept, then work down to the finite. And 22 is starting to pick it up.
Chase Contreras on to kick a field goal here. Contreras out of Missouri Valley, Iowa. He rolls up and it is good. Red hold it within 4 now, 14-10 in this modified scoring system. Well, hey, the USFL is starting on April 16th, and it kicks off with a historic inaugural game as the New Jersey Generals take on the Birmingham Stallions in primetime on Fox and on NBC. Looking forward to being able to watch football in the summer, the USFL being back. There's a Philadelphia star, one of the newest, Josh Banderas, former Husker.
The guy that has kept himself in tremendous shape.
Another Philadelphia star, Kim Lawton. Well, that is
fans. I'd say that's an awful good quality caliber of players.
Right? Yes.
But I'm excited. I'm a big USFL guy. I loved it.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Of course, Mark Whipple, his first pro head coaching job was with the Arizona Wranglers. Took him to the USFL championship game.
What was that, 84?
84, yeah.
What were you doing watching USFL as a 20-year-old? You had to be probably doing college, didn't you?
I was right in the middle of college. Thanks for dating me. I appreciate that. There's Purdy again under pressure. He'll pull that down.
I think that's Smothers back in, right?
It is Smothers, right? Yeah, Logan Smothers.
I saw the potential to step on the gas. I was like, boy, that's awful fast for Purdy. We know Smothers can flat out run. I'd like to see this third down get converted here for this red bunch. Smothers looking for a little rhythm here.
And incomplete.
I don't know if
they're
we
going to say he was done. He was going to be sacked first.
Hey, watch that guy. The dime is officially loose. Watch Jamari Butler. See, he's been giving you speed, and now he comes with just a bull rush. That is Ezra Miller on the receiving end of that. See, he had set him up for a while. He's been giving him moves, kind of dipping, and then he just comes with the bull rush. Miller's off balance. Getting seated in the lap.
Jamari Butler, if you listen to coaches, just has made huge strides in this offseason. Where there is another booming kick all the way back to the 20, and that is a 55-plus yard kick, or punt from Bushini. I think it's 62 officially.
Well, he's 2 out of 3. Yeah, going back to Jamari Butler, he's one of those guys. If you said, hey, you know, DB, what needs to happen in terms of this pass rushing evolution? Butler's a guy that's got to be on the come. Can't just be Caleb Talon.
Hey, let's go back out on the field. Megan has another special guest.
Coach Dawson coaching the D-line. Right now the defense doing a really nice job getting to the quarterback. What have you liked most about what you've seen so far?
Well, these guys are coming out and approaching it like it's a game. This is a dress rehearsal, getting us ready for next fall. So I like the tempo these guys are rushing the quarterback at right now. Got to do a better job in the run game. I think we're getting a little too high at times, but got to try to knock these guys back a little bit better in the run game, but keep playing fast in the pass game.
Is there anybody in particular that has stood out to you so far?
I think Garrett came out with a pretty good mindset right now. He's had a couple good sacks on this, and it's good to see Blaze and Jamari get involved in the pass rush game a little bit here early on. So going to keep taking a good look at those guys. They need to get a lot of reps today and have a good day.
Appreciate it, Coach. Things looking good for the defense so far.
Thank you very much.
Good to hear Blaze Gunnarson's name mentioned. Last year about Thanksgiving, the coaches said the light switch kind of just went on. He battled the hip injury and he had surgery coming out of college, high school. And Coach Chinander said, you know, it's almost like he didn't know if all the scar tissue just broke up at once or he freed his mind, but he said he was a new player. And he thought to himself, hey, coaches, I think we got one.
Gunnarson's size was 6'6", 225.
He looks every bit the part, too.
Yes, he does. We'll be one to watch out of Carroll, Iowa, Carroll Kipper High School. Back on top goes Purdy, and that is swatted away. Check out, still Logan Smothers in there.
It's a good ball. Watch Newsome's eyes here. Eyes and hands as a DB. Playing through the ball. I tell you, he adds the tackling dimension to his game. Newsome has a chance to be an all-conference caliber type player.
Started every game last year for Nebraska. Others tried to check down to Yank, tipped in the air. Dangerous tip there, incomplete.
Maga commence again. That's one of those where I think, you know, Whipple is going to say, listen, you got to step. You see the split feet, right? Where you don't step to your target. It lends itself to an errant throw. That's a great angle to see that. You step at those backs on those little arrow routes. They look like an easy throw, so you tend not to be as mechanically sound.
Both of our punters today, Grant Detlefson and Brian Bushini, are wearing the number 95. I believe this is Bushini again. That time into the win.
They did it just to mess with you.
That's right. You're right. It's working. How's that?
So maybe you have to take that back. I said Bushini was 2 out of 3.
Yeah, he was kicking into the wind as well.
With the strong punts. He may still be batting 1,000. Purdy. Had some success. Manning, Palmer, Belt out there.
Well, what another great crowd here for a spring game. 54,357 for the spring game here in Lincoln. 54,000 plus.
I think part of that, Larry, is with the fan base and showing their support. You've struggled a little bit, and this is such a tradition. And spring at Nebraska usually is a sign of things to come. We're one of those places, as you know, we get all 4 seasons. And if hope springs eternal, you better have a good spring.
There is no doubt. This is the time so many fans look forward to the fall, begin prepping. Was looking downfield there and just dumped it underneath.
That's a really good job. He had the crosser, the crossing route on the little shallow. Didn't want to take a chance. Played it safe. No pressure. Snap it again. Nebraska really got to figure out a way to be better in crunch time and in the red zone. Late turnovers and not getting points in the red zone are the 2 bugaboos for this offense.
Carry there by Johnson. We really like Ramir in the pass game as well. Damon, and what he does in pass pro out of the backfield.
Yeah, he's without question the most sound. He's got a full grasp of the offense. He's very good in pass protection. Can figure out blitz pickup. He's got the great hands. They have a few packages for him where they let him work out in space as the man out of the backfield. Kind of the do-it-all guy.
He's in the backfield again along with Purdy. Fakes it to him. That's good hands grab out.
Grimes.
Down to the 25-yard line of the grab by Grimes.
Great job on the blitz pickup from Ramir Johnson again. See him pick up the blitzer. It's just enough time for Purdy to get the ball off. They don't make that play in the secondary. Grimes turns the corner, and they need Grimes to develop. I think they have a good 6 or 7 maybe once Castaneda gets healthy. Grimes has got to be one of those young guys, as Coach Joseph says, that's playing for a scholarship. I mean, that's kind of how it's been here with him so far.
Option to the left. There's Johnson again.
See Chris Kolarvik flash soon, number 31 in white. Going to play a little bit of the nickel for this defense sometimes. JoJo Doman-like, not JoJo Doman-esque just yet.
Right.
Big, strong frame.
Isaac Gifford will also get a couple looks there, right?
Yes. Javen Wright.
Yep. Throw just a little bit behind.
Kind of like Purdy's. He's got a nice. He's savvy. He's got a little poise in the pocket, doesn't he? Carries himself like a pro's pro.
Just watching him warm-ups too. Throws such a nice ball.
Yeah, he's got a good ball.
Consistent.
He's really transformed his body in a little short amount of time.
Oh, pop there, right at Grimes, who had it in his hand, but incomplete on the hit by Tyreek Johnson.
And the former 5-star that was in the portal leaving Ohio State winds up at Nebraska. I think the fans were looking for him. He flashes there. Big, strong corner. Grimes has got to find a way to bring that one in. But I tell you, you got to tip your hat to Tyreek Johnson there. It's a good job of separating the ball. That's an awful difficult catch. He's a long body.
Yeah. Here is Contreras on to try the field goal. With the wind kind of at his back inside. It's going to be a 42-yard attempt for Contreras.
Started left, stayed left.
So the white team, which consists strictly of defense, continues to rack up the points here. in the annual red-white spring game. Modified scoring so that the defense has an opportunity to score as well, and they've certainly done most of it.
Yeah, I can tell you right now, they're not supposed to be up 21-10.
There's going to be some conversation at halftime.
They talked about and joked about creative scoring all week, right? Just to give them a quote-unquote chance.
Yeah.
They're not supposed to be up 11 right now.
That's right. Yeah, you got to just, you have to continue to stay on top of 3 and outs, 4th down conversions.
Well, if they really wanted to get hectic, a pick 6 counts as 12 for the defense.
Right, and with the extra point, it would be 13 for a defense for one play. Let's go back down to the field. Megan joins us again.
Well, gentlemen, something very cool happening today during this spring game is the Nebraska student radio station, KRNU, has an all-female broadcast crew for the spring game. I'm talking play-by-play, analysts, spotters, stats, everything that goes into a broadcast. Every single person working on it is a young woman. And I had a chance to catch up with these ladies pregame, and they said they were just so excited to have the opportunity to have this big of an event on their resume and to just get experience, not only with Nebraska football, but also in the Big Ten.
Boy, that is terrific. As a graduate and former member of that KRNU staff, that's outstanding. Some talented young ladies there.
Harkening back to the early 80s, right?
That's way back. You're right. I tell you, Rick Alloway has done such a terrific job there at KRNU, mentoring so many future broadcasters. As you're going to take a look at the broadcast booth here for KRNU right up there.
Ladies.
Sander calling the play-by-play. Anna Bellinghausen is the analyst. Well, that is just outstanding.
How about that? Spotters working overtime. Look at that. It's the first ball that we've seen on the ground. I was going to keep track, right? I talked a little bit about validation. They've taken better care of the football these first 14 practices. Wanted to see where the turnovers were. The red gets the ball back, but nonetheless, keep it off the carpet.
So on this offensive possession, it's Logan Smothers back out at quarterback. Added down right at the line of scrimmage. Let's see who got a hand on that.
My Coach Frost snaps the headset down. Got to figure out something to do with Garrett Nelson. that's a start. We talked in the pregame. We didn't think we were going to see the bookends a ton.
They're still in there.
Yeah. And he's just out here giving it to guys.
Sheedy with another one, this time into the wind, kind of an end over end, bounces once, taken right there by Trey Palmer. Back down to the field to Megan.
Well, guys, we are going to get Coach Applewhite here in just a moment, but you have 5 official members that are new on this coaching staff for Scott Frost. And so this is, as you mentioned at the top of the show, is going to be a really big game for them to just get some cohesiveness as a staff, learning how each other calls plays, styles, and whatnot of coaching. So a lot being learned today, not just on the field, but also on the sidelines.
Yeah, here they are. The new quintet 4 on offense, including a new play caller. And Mark Whipple.
And who is not coincidentally calling plays today.
That's
how about
right.
that?
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, Coach Whipple telling us earlier this week, as you see Yant with the carry there, he's always kind of traditionally during spring play let his other assistants on offense call plays.
Yeah, I like his perspective as the holistic approach. He said spring's not only for players, but it's for coaches to grow and get better as well. And he has a pretty expansive coaching tree.
There's his son, Spencer Whipple, with the Arizona Cardinals, Liam Cohn with the Seahawks, both called plays with him at UMass during spring games.
So Nebraska's defensive line is holding up much better than I thought. continuing to shuttle in bodies. That shot maker, when he gets his hands on it, he does not move. He is a prototypical nose. Playing the shade a little bit, which is the gap between the center and the guard.
Ooh. That was Chubba Purdy going hard into the back of.
Yeah, Wyatt Lever's probably like, hey, I'm out here trying to work for you. Let's keep my knees intact. That's how those things happen. How about the read here? Good crash, good eyes. Shows you a little burst, too, for a big guy. Just gets the first down. I do like Purdy's command. He looks like he belongs, right? That sometimes aesthetics is part of it. You know, do I carry myself like I believe I should be here?
Quick swing from Purdy. It's going to be enough for a first down. Back on the field we go to Megan.
This Nebraska team is focused on in this spring game so far. And there are leaders certainly emerging within that position group. Offensive lineman Trent Hickson had his whole entire group around him, and he was getting out the whiteboard, had the pin out and everything, going through different coverages and how they want to attack this spring game. So not only is this spring game good for looking for coaches to step up, but also from a leadership standpoint, who's going to step up.
That's a fantastic point, LP, especially as she's talking about Hickson, who, again, somebody that's taking advantage of an opportunity. No Prohaska, no Turner Corcoran like we talked about. Everybody's penciling everybody else at center, and we're forgetting about Trent Hickson, who has a ton of real game experience, and he says, hey, opportunity, I'll grab it. Will at least make it tough on you going forward.
Purdy over the middle, incomplete. Boy, great job defensively to close late and knock it away. That's Isaac Gifford. We just talked about Gifford.
Such a good athlete. Look at him play the ball, makes his beeline. Good timing. Isaac Gifford's a guy that you'd have a chance to break some performance index records. He's explosive, he can run. 10-foot standing, broad jump guy.
His older brother just recently re-signed with the Dallas Cowboys.
Good cutback right there.
Yeah. Hits the hole hard, but there again. The hit was Isaac Gifford.
And fan base is kind of starting to see right now early on in the spring, it's a very concerted effort for these backs to start running behind their pads. By that I mean, when you go into contact, you want to drop your pad level and make sure that defenders do most of the catching, right? And Yana's a big body, is really learning to do that. Big pass rush right
Gets rid of it. Was that a catch?
there. He caught it.
What a grab all the way across the field. Winemaster comes across to make the play.
Look good from here. Now he's probably sacked. I'd have to see the replay, but you see the art of the improv. How about the throw?
Boy, look at that. Just lays it in. They're going to say incomplete on the pass. Turn it over on downs.
Boy, I don't know.
Winemaster's not convinced. His toe was on the line, but that back foot, I thought, drug first before the toe was on. Watch the back foot, see if that drags before. There you go.
Well, I don't know.
That's a grab.
Well, that camera work is silly. I thought
good,
this
huh?
was, is this practice or is this real? Well, I need that.
So the White extends its lead there after that possession, and now up 25-10. Hey, coming up, you don't want to miss Big Ten baseball as the Huskers slug it out with the Scarlet Knights. That's coming up next on the Big Ten Network and the Fox Sports app. Rutgers got the win yesterday. Shane Sparks will be calling the game from right here in Lincoln. Rutgers picked up the win yesterday in that weekend series.
sparks. You talk about high octane.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee.
He's going to be with Danon Hughes on the call.
Danon Hughes, who first Big Ten broadcast ever, Northern Iowa. I was with Danon Hughes. It was 2012, 2013 maybe?
Danon was a two-sport guy, right?
Baseball, you know it. It was fantastic. We parked the back truck across from the parking lot at Iowa. It's my first BTN gig, and he's walking across. It took 35 minutes to get across 100 yards of parking lot because the free world stopped him. It was like, what is going on? Yeah, he is a legend back in Iowa City.
There's Oliver Martin. Flash it a little bit with a minute 11 left before half.
We see some yellow. See, now I think the Nebraska staff likes to see Martin make that catch. It's in traffic. It's a tough grab. He's had to come back and from a multitude of injuries. Wasn't feeling really good about himself. There were some dark times for Oliver Martin. He has found a way to really flourish this spring.
Offense number 23, the 15-yard penalty being forced from the end of the run. The play resulted in a first down. That is number 23's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
Well, how about that?
Ain't like that.
I'll draw flag.
Nate Gary says, hold my Gatorade.
That's right. Oh, had him open.
You know, it's interesting. Maga Clemens, 22, who he threw the ball at. He's a guy that will make you do that. He'll play through the whistle. He practices very hard. Offensive guys would call it annoying. Coach Dawson and Chandler and those guys will say he plays with good energy.
All about perspective.
Good job standing in the pocket. That was not a clean pocket.
Out of the backfield, that's Ramir Johnson with the grab. Third down and 3 inside a minute. Touched up again.
Take a guess.
Just a little tap there, yeah. Just a little tap there.
Just pick a name. Pick a random name.
Colton Feast or Huntmacher?
I'll go with Garrett Nelson.
Oh, was it Garrett Nelson again?
You're almost guaranteed to be right this app. I am surprised he's played so many snaps, but he must have wanted to get good work in. Garrett's probably the type of guy that says 2-3 series. What? Still evolving, coach.
Colton Feast, another guy we haven't talked about a lot, who's really been improved in that interior defensive line for Nebraska. That's tipped up and incomplete.
You can make the case that Caleb Tanner got it again. Do you remember the last time you and I talked about Colton
That is
Feast?
the end of the first half.
Was it State High School?
State High School championship game. And he was unblockable then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tanner would have got home there.
So that'll do it for the first half here in Lincoln, the annual red-white spring game. When we come back, we're going to hear with the new director of athletics at Nebraska, Trev Alberts. That's all coming up from here at Memorial Stadium. Stay with us. The day is likely mostly done after a good first half for both. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from the first half for both of them. We'll start with Casey Thompson, who appears to be the odds-on favorite come fall.
Yeah, he's looked a little uncertain at times, but I like the mechanics, and I like the fact that he's really gathering command of the offense. Take a look at some of these good throws. This was perhaps his best of the day, and it was early. How about that right there?
Through just 4 passes, completed 3. Now let's take a look at Chubba Purdy.
He may be the most pleasant surprise thus far. I think people thought he had the furthest to maybe come due to his injury, but he's looked pretty good. Good feel. He hasn't played a ton. Not a lot of live work. Good ball right there.
Yeah.
Jay Rollins on the other end of that one.
So Purdy, 5 of 10, 63 yards along with 27, which was that one right there to Rollins. So here we go, second half action, and this is full-on football here, so we're going to see some tackling.
And Marcus Buford right away, yanking down Yant. Yant's a guy that they wanted to see handle contact in the second half. Here we go.
So our quarterback is Heinrich Harburg. Harburg back to throw. Quick over the middle. Good completion to A.J. Rollins.
Yeah, boom. I'll tell you, Michael Clemens gets to where he's going.
Here is Yant grinding out a few yards on third down. That's going to bring up fourth and about 1.
Now you see, Grant Taggy's had a really good spring as well. We'll play on all the special teams. Here's the thing with Yant, right? He wanted the live look and comes out of the other end when guys aren't tackling. He's got every opportunity now to be that guy.
Well, there he picks up 3 on 4th and 1, so a 4th down conversion will put a point on the board for the red team. I think that's in the scoring manual.
A little inside zone. White defense not quite lined up yet. A little tempo here, catching that D-line off guard. Hutmacher not quite in his stance. Hutmacher not quite in his stance.
The ground picked up by Harburg, but he's going to be dropped in the backfield for a loss of 4 yards.
Job by Braxton Clark. It's an important year for him.
Go back down to the field. Megan is with Coach Frost.
Coach, biggest takeaway from that first half of action?
I thought the defense played well. You know, it's hard to tell. We're being real simple in the run game. It's hard to tell with some of these how many yards you be getting if it's live. But we're going live here in the second half with some of the younger guys, so we'll get a little better picture of how some of those things will work.
I know you like the way the defense is looking, but offensively, what are you hoping to see during this live period?
Just some consistency. You know, I didn't think we executed great in the first half. And part of that is just we're not doing much, but want to see the ball move a little bit.
Thanks, Coach. Appreciate it.
I'm in full agreement with him, LP. I thought the defense, you know, I was saying earlier, I said, you know, if I'm basing it on the other 14, I color me impressed with what the defense was doing. Good to see. I guess if you want to be right, that Coach Frost was in agreement. Maybe you'd like the offense to be a little better, but I am pleasantly surprised by the defense.
Harburg showing some speed on the outside, the Kearney graduate.
Their energy is better too, right? And sometimes it's hard. It's hard to be as wound up when you're on offense. You have to be a little more under control. But defense, if you're just going by body language, you can tell they feel better about themselves.
Harburg redshirted last year, 6'5", 200 pounder out of Kearney Catholic. Inside handoff to Marquise Stepp, the transfer from USC.
You just look at Nash Hutmacher. I mean, he's making, as we take a look at Grant Taggy right there, makes it easy for those guys on the second level to run. When he puts his hands on you, you just snap back. I don't know if he can move, but he sure is strong. He is explosive. 72.
Step again. Steps through a tackle. Inside the 40, down to the 37-yard line on the carry. It looked like he came up limping early on in that carry.
Yeah, he just can't catch a break. This looked like a groin right away. I don't want to play doctor.
No.
It's like when they say in the court, hey, you know, jury, you'll disregard what you just heard, even though we heard it anyway.
Grant back in there.
Good surge.
Yeah.
Built low to the ground. That's the running behind the pads part that we were talking about. Finishing runs and coming out of the back end.
Flag is down as Grant is dropped to the backfield.
Well, that tempo, that flag will give us a chance to catch our breath.
Illegal formation, more than 4 in the backfield offense. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And the defense as well. They were starting to get shredded with that tempo. You get a chance to sub in the D-line. I mean, people say, hey, I'm a 30-40 to snap guy. Better worry about playing 7-8 in a row first before we get to those big numbers. It's a lot on you. Fresh group in here along up here up front. It's like Marquise Black.
There's some pressure, gets rid of it, just throws it away, incomplete, but the pressure. Jamari Butler again with that pressure. He's flashed here today.
Yeah, he's had again, just continuing to build on his first 14 practices. He's put on really good weight. He's got good length. And he's been a nightmare for these tackles on the outside. Harburg saying his first live action today. It's tough to kind of sit around and watch, but quietly, he may be the best natural passer of the bunch.
A little wide open. Touchdown. Boy, right on cue, Damon Benning. That's Grimes with the touchdown.
First of all, outstanding job handling the snap. He understands the coverage. Now you may say deep hole makes that play. Grimes thinks he maybe makes that play. He gives it the look. And Farmer is the human hit stick, number 4. He's probably going to make you pay. But for all intents and purposes, it's a spring game. We'll take it. It's a good hands catch, too, by the way. He played a little peekaboo. He knows 4's coming.
Timeout on the field.
Oh, boy. Okay. I think Farmer unloads there.
Yeah.
He'll give you the spin anyway. Well, you know, between the Victor Jones, the Grimes, some of these young receivers that Nebraska's got, somebody's got to find a way to emerge.
A quick conversation with Mark Whipple.
I think the good thing, what Whipple's telling him right now is it's not so much the throw, but the recognition of the coverage. Right, you get a little bit of that quarters coverage. He gets the skinny, which is the little quick look in post from Grimes. He sees it, he delivers the football. Part of it is just the recognition.
Well, good grabs for Grimes today.
And we see Neville standing next to Grimes. Again, between Neville and Victor Jones and Grimes and some of these young wideouts with a new coach, there's a lot of pressure.
Megan is joined on the sideline now by Harburg.
All right, that final play, you showed your arm really nicely. What went down in that possession?
Yeah, you know, just I think being live really helped us establish our running game. And when you can establish your running game, plays like that open up.
Now, how much confidence does a play like that give you when you're able to get it downfield?
Yeah, it's great to be able to do this and do it in this environment. But, you know, we try to do that every time.
What have you learned so far in this spring game?
It's you know, it's a different environment than last year. Different coaches for sure. You know, the one thing that doesn't change is the fans and the support around here.
Well, pretty cool atmosphere. You have about 50,000 fans here watching you. So best of luck in the second half.
Thank you,
guys.
Thanks, Megan. Heinrich Harburg after that touchdown toss. Kearney Catholic product.
It's interesting to see what happened with a little bit of rhythm and a little bit of tempo. How quickly plays were coming in. It allowed the offense to kind of settle in a little bit. That can be the great equalizer to negate a good pass rush.
How important now, Damon, is it for both of these lines, offensively and defensively, to begin to get some rhythm, find some guys who are going to be, you know, 2 and 3 if needed during the season?
I think it's important, you know, both offensively and defensively. In the trenches, there's jobs to be won. Nebraska's trying to 5-5 starting offensive linemen. have a defensive rotation of 5 or 6 defensive linemen. So that's what jobs are for, right? They're made to be won and lost. And I think for these guys to get live work, you're trying to make it uncomfortable for a coach to not play them.
Their quarterback now is Masker. That's a give right up the middle. Good carry by Young.
Yeah, I really liked him coming out of high school. Aiden Young, built low to the ground, multi-sport athlete. Just the skinniest of creases, but he's committed to it. And again, getting behind your pad level, coming out of the back end. He's a good athlete.
Aiden Young out of Elkhorn High School. He's a redshirt freshman. There's one again. Stiff arm. Not going anywhere. That's a good tackle by Phelan Sanford, the quarterback.
Yeah, one good athlete on another. Sanford is probably in the top 10 or 12 in terms of raw athleticism on this football team. He can run, he can hit, he can jump.
Got near a first down on 2nd and about 4. It's Young again with the carry.
It's an underappreciated tackle by Sanford too. If he doesn't make that play, that thing is creased. And if you're Aiden Young, you're thinking, ooh, one-on-one in the open field, that is taboo. Watch what's behind here in terms of this hallway. There's some daylight. I mean, Kapai may come off and make that play, but that crease opened.
Masker still at quarterback. He gives again. Not much there.
You have to be really efficient up front on the offensive line to have traditional handoff run game out of the shotgun without your quarterback running the ball. At some point, a quarterback is going to have to keep the ball to get the defense to play honest, unless you're elite up front.
It's not often you go from one Kearney Catholic quarterback to another one back-to-back here. Masker, the junior out of Kearney Catholic. Pretty good history out there. Class C2 with some good quarterbacks.
Boy, that was well designed early.
Kearney Catholic C2. I don't want to.
Well,
C1.
I tell you, don't they? I think they've gone multiple. They've changed twice, right?
Right. Yeah.
I'm not trying to bail you out, but it is hard to keep up with the enrollment.
Yeah.
Although, you know, some schools able to control their numbers better than some.
Masker back to throw. Under some pressure both ways. Rolls back to the near side. Looks downfield. Throws it away.
Yeah, he did a good job getting rid of that one. That was a recipe for disaster. Trying to find Hardy along the sidelines there, working his way back on the broken route. Offense is cut it to 12, 29-17. Again, you ask the coaches, I don't think they expected to be trailing by double digits offensively.
Well, Grimes back deep. Here is Brian Buschini again.
Averaging 42 yards a punt right now.
Punts it away into the wind. Fair catch called for right at the 10. Grimes handles it. Well, the USFL is starting on April 16th, and it kicks off with a historic inaugural game as the New Jersey Generals take on the Birmingham Stallions. In prime time, it'll be on Fox and on NBC. Notable players from around the Big Ten Conference, part of the resurgence of the USFL. Shea Patterson, he'll be playing with the Panthers, the #1 pick overall. And here, 3 Huskers who will also be playing in the USFL this summer.
Yeah, good to see Kyron Williams, who has really stayed with it. I mean, every opportunity, he is trying to get some tape. I was a Maulers fan.
Really?
Yeah, Rozier, Pittsburgh, you know,
Sure.
Steelers guy.
Yeah. Let's go down to the sideline. Megan has more.
All right, here with Casey Thompson. You just finished 3 for 4, 31 yards. Your day is done, but how would you assess your first time getting out here in Memorial Stadium?
Yeah, I mean, today was another day, another opportunity for us to get better and for me to compete against the defense and just learn and grow in the offense. And I feel like I did a pretty good job making all the right reads. You know, I want to be a little bit more crisp, but I mean, like you said, 3 for 4 for 31 yards on 3 drives. You know, we were able to get our running game going at the end, but we've had a good spring ball and offense throughout 15 practices. And so today was just about going out and being smart and playing my game. And I was really excited to get out here in front of the stadium.
You have had the opportunity, as opposed to a lot of these quarterbacks in this group, to get experience, especially playing in the Big 12. What's been the biggest adjustment you've had to make coming from Texas to Nebraska?
I mean, the football is a big deal here, and you know, I'm kind of used to that. You know, playing at Texas and also being from Oklahoma, so I've been around big-time football, and that's the reason why I came here. But as far as on the field adjustments, you know, here into the Big Ten, the weather's obviously different, and the style of play is a little bit different as far as the body types and the athleticism on offense and defense. But like you said, my experience, my knowledge, and my leadership are probably my best attributes, and I'm excited to continue to you know, lead the team and show everyone what I can do.
You're also working under a new offensive coordinator to Nebraska, and Mark Whipple. What has he taught you so far in your time in Lincoln?
Yeah, I mean, I know Coach Whipple is really good at what he does and calling the offense, and you know, he looks for certain things within his system, and he's coached some great quarterbacks. You know, Kenny Pickett and Ben Roethlisberger. And so I just wanted to make sure that I was doing everything that in my power, and try to strive to be the best player that I could be every day. And I've done a good job of that, but you know, some days, you know, he pushes me a little bit more, which is a good thing. And I think we're both kind of pulling on the same rope. We both want perfection, and we both want the offense to be successful. And the biggest thing I've learned from him is just how to run his offense and the footwork that he wants and the level of consistency that he demands. He pushes me to be perfect in every drill and every practice that we have.
I know you're multitasking, watching the game and talking to me here right now, but for the Nebraska fans that haven't necessarily had a chance to see you play, what do you want them to know about you?
Just that I'm a competitor. I mean, like you said, a lot of people talk about my competitiveness, so I just want people to know that I'm competitive, that I'm athletic, that I'm a great thrower, and that I'm also quick and fast and able to run and make plays with my legs as well. And I try to do a little bit of both, you know, every time I go out in the field. But the name of the game is to win, so I'll do whatever it takes to win. And like I said, that's the most important thing. And then anything else is extra. You know, my stats and anything like that, it doesn't really matter. But like I said, I'm able to throw and run at a high level, and I want to continue to grow and get better as well.
That's going to be big, especially in a conference like the Big Ten. Is there one Big Ten team in particular you're looking forward to playing against?
No, I mean, I think every game is important, and but it'll be interesting for me to go play at Michigan and Ann Arbor. I've never played in the Big House, so I'm excited about that, but I want to focus on the first game, you know, Northwestern and Ireland. So Northwestern is the first one on our schedule, so I'm focused on Northwestern.
And my last thing for you, so far, I know you haven't had a ton of time on campus. Who's been your favorite target to throw to on this team?
I think you can answer that question. Trey Palmer, for sure. He's one of our best wide receivers. You know, he has great speed, great hands, great football IQ, and he's just a great person overall. You know, we're trying to get everybody to learn and grow and push themselves to be better, but I'd say Trey is a standout player for sure.
All right, I thank you and a lot of other people as well throwing him the ball. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks very much, Megan. Great conversation there. Good carry here by Trevin Lubin. Lubin's been out there for a few carries, had a nice first down in the previous play, and that is a nice gain for Trevin Lubin.
And I believe, Larry, you, with the great memory you have, we've seen Mr. Lubin tote the rock on this football field.
32-yard carry there for Lubin.
It was Wahoo, correct?
It was Wahoo, yeah. Yep.
Try.
He's a redshirt freshman. There he is again, leaning forward for 3 or 4 on first down.
That's kind of the football techie nerd. I always look for, symmetry and people doing things alike. The quarterbacks, you can tell while they look different in their physical stature, their mechanics are a lot alike, right? Which means they've been repped a ton. The play fakes, the carrying out of the fakes. Sign of a good coach.
Jalen Weaver in there in that defensive line. Flag on the play. Back to the conversation with Casey Thompson. You can tell he doesn't lack confidence, right? Believes in himself.
No.
His dad believed in himself a little bit too,
False
right?
start.
Yeah,
Offense number 58. 5-yard penalty. Second down. I think
So 2nd and 11 now. The penalty. Not sure we mentioned it earlier, but Charles Thompson, his father, played in that #1 versus #2 game back in 1987 when Oklahoma came in here and beat Nebraska 17-7 when Oklahoma was #2, Nebraska was #1. Following year, Oklahoma, I believe, was 1 or 2 in the country. Nebraska went down there in '88 and beat Charles Thompson and that team.
Needed that one. You see Krnu on the catch. Coming after a pretty good spring for Krnu.
So 3rd quarter of the books here in Lincoln. Lubin with a nice carry. We'll have the 4th from here in Lincoln when we come back. Yes, a Saturday tradition in Lincoln, Nebraska. It's the Wiener camera. This thing, they'll shoot up here into the press box.
How about this?
There's got to be a grab here.
What is going on?
I don't know what that is. That's not even a corn cob. I don't get it.
Versatility.
All right. All right, 4th quarter underway. Option to the left side. New running back in there. Looks like Isaiah Harris with the carry.
Another guy I enjoyed watching coming out of high school. North South. Very shifty. Watched him break off a couple of long runs in practice this spring. Hoping that Coach Applewhite in the running back room can be a lot like Coach Beckton has been in his tenure at Nebraska, where just everybody that's in their room just gets better.
Staying on his feet, makes a move at the goal line, and in for the touchdown. The carry by Jarrett Sinek.
Pretty good burst.
Footwork, nice balance, staying on his feet. Redshirt freshman out of Hastings, Nebraska. Hastings High School with the touchdown.
Yeah, got him to commit late. He was terrific in high school. Late addition.
Yeah. And not that in a game like this the score makes a lot of difference, but the Red has pulled back to within 4 at 29-25 after that big first half from the white defense.
There's a little Hastings on York matchup. I think that was Odie that missed the tackle.
Wow.
Yeah, don't kid yourself. Something's on the line. I have no idea what between the offense and the defense, right? But something's definitely on the line.
How about this?
Boy, how about the elevation? Used to be able to do that once upon a time. What is that about?
It's good leadership right there.
It is actually. That's how, and he's invested.
Yeah.
Right. He's not checked out. That's a great point. That's what it's about. The culture, the chemistry. You like it, I love it. They're going to need it. Lots of talk about the schedule, this, that, where they're playing. When you're coming off a 3-9 season, they're all difficult and they're all important.
Mm-hmm. Well, and I think this team is so tired of hearing about how close they have been. And all the conversation around the best 3-win team and, outscored their opponents in total points throughout the year. Just It really doesn't matter when you're 3-9, and I think they're beginning to get that sense that just done with that conversation is Cynic on a nice run.
Good effort. See, you can tell it matters. It doesn't matter what moment it is in this game, your opportunity, you need to be prepared, you need to maximize. Harburg's I'm feeling he may put together another drive here. Getting in a little rhythm.
Heinrich Harburg back in there. The option to his right. Let's go down to the field to Megan.
We're just grabbing everybody here left and right. Garrett Nelson just coming off the field, 2 tackles for you, but the defense has been dominant so far. What have you seen in this defensive unit?
Obviously, with a lot of guys either graduating or heading to the draft, there were some spots to fill interior D-line and on the back end, and these guys have responded and done a really good job with just leadership and coaching and stepping up in that spot as truly young guys. They've responded really well. They know the standard and how they play, and they've upheld the standard, and they'll continue to do it.
I think the standard is definitely sacks. I think everybody would be happy with that. Your unit has 3 so far today. Why have you been able to get to the quarterback?
Just the coach, Coach Dawson, Coach Chins. That was obviously a point of emphasis last year and this year. We wanted one more sack a game. How that's going to happen is guys rushing together, guys coming up the ball quick, and just that mentality of it's a race to the quarterback, and I'll see you there.
In a game like this, not everybody necessarily knows everything about you guys on this team, but what do you want the Husker faithful to know about you?
About me? That's a great question. Is it something like serious, or is it like?
We can do serious or non-serious. It's up to you.
My favorite food is watermelon.
That is interesting.
Like death row, like what's the last meal? I'll probably use watermelon. And if you're going to be serious, I just want to be, for the Husker faithful, as a leader and as an older guy, I just want to have this team exemplify the people in this state of how hard they work, the dedication to the sport, dedication to how they do things correctly in this state, and I just want this team to represent that, and I want to lead that.
So besides eating watermelon this summer and headed into this season, what can we expect to see from this defensive unit this season? Just a
continuation from last year. We've really stepped up our game defensively. We played some great defense last year against some great teams. We want to have that carryover and even go into the elite category in some of those areas that we could have got better at.
All right, well, congratulations on a great day so far, and watermelon season's coming up, so I know you have some good time on your hands.
Really excited. Thank you so much.
Send back to you guys.
It's a great interview.
Wow, the fumble killed what was an impressive drive between Harburg and one of Elkhorn South's finest, Cooper Jewett. The white defense finds a way to keep the lead. That's a big stop as they get it back to 10. We see the exchange. Oh, he gets out past that front foot. You got to let it go.
Ryan Schomer, the 6'5" outside linebacker from Norfolk, with the recovery. Their conversation with Coach Frost and Harburg.
Yeah, for those of you watching at home, the quarterbacks, they got to know once the running back gets out past your front foot, that's a complete give. You got to get the hands out of there. Yeah, he's telling them about it. That was an impressive drive. Yes, it was. A nice run from Cooper Jewett.
Oh, big completion to Goodwin as well. I don't think we mentioned that. The tight end stuck out a nice completion. Good carry there by Trevin Lubin. Again, Lubin's playing well here in the second half.
Let's hit the crease. Going back to tempo.
Gain on the near side. Evan Meyersick, the tight end.
Really good job of point of attack in that offensive line. Really opened that front side crease up. We've seen flashes of the run game, both early and now late, where it's becoming a thing where we felt like the defense kind of settled in and was dominating there in the middle. So teams are getting spread pretty thin here, especially up front for this defense.
Makes a tackle, leans forward for another couple of yards. They're carried by Lubin.
Last time he carried it this many times in the stadium, remember he had that ankle taped up, and an impressive performance from Wahoo. Imagine putting his foot in the ground, try to get back vertical here.
A lot of guys we saw play on this field in high school. Go back to the kid who just had the interview, Garrett Nelson. You remember right after he was recruited, and after he was coming here, and he had that play, he came up off the, and he pumps his fist, he's going crazy, and what was the coaching staff doing in the end zone?
Yeah, I'm like, that's our guy.
They had the biggest smile on their face. And you could tell he was a high energy guy. The question always was, is then how does that translate, right? Physically, how do you...
And a good case study, too. You stop worrying about so much where a guy is going to play and get good football plays.
Over the middle.
Good hands catch.
Nice grab by Evan Meyerson, the tight end.
I thought he was a really good get for Nebraska coming out of Millard West. Long body. Had some other opportunities too. But that guy right there, line of number 7, really waiting that light switch to come on. That's a talented young DB right there.
Stops through, plenty of room in front. Puts the shoulder pad down and a nice carry and a gain by Matt Schuster.
Now his dad's probably going to tell him he would have scored.
Of course he is, that's right.
But Matt can look at his dad and say, well, that's why you were a fullback. Out of Ashland Greenwood.
What a terrific afternoon here at Memorial Stadium, Tom Osborne Field in Lincoln. Another football Saturday in the spring here in Lincoln. Another 50,000 plus crowd in attendance. Some of the biggest crowds that they've had in the spring game, or when you have events, that's pulling the ground. Flag comes out.
Procedure call to see what happened
here. How about that? Consecutive sellouts at 382. Dates all the way back to 1962. Bob Devaney's first year.
Holding. Offense number 58. 10-yard penalty. Second down.
The first year that they had more than 20,000 fans at a Nebraska spring game was Tom Osborne's first year as a head coach, when Devaney handed the reins over to Tom Osborne.
Yeah. People were a little uncertain, weren't they?
They were.
Who is this young guy?
This kid. Well, he had a terrific staff, did Devaney. Passed up some pretty talented coaches to hand it to Tom Osborne. It's good. Warren Powers, among others. Yeah.
It's interesting, you know, the great debate amongst Nebraska folklore and history, the Devaney versus Coach Osborne debate.
Before the ball was
what
snapped,
Coach Osborne took over versus what Coach Devaney took over, which was a little tougher situation, but the long-term sustained success of Coach Osborne.
I think they were both the perfect individual for what they needed to do, right? Like Bob Devaney was the gregarious, outgoing, he's going to get everybody.
Change the recruiting portfolio.
Yeah, change the culture of Nebraska football, and needed to do that in order to get it going. And Tom Osborne was just a great offensive mind. Understood when he had to make changes after the Oklahoma years.
Wow, a lot of father-son going on right now. Elliott Brown, whose dad was Lance. How about the ball? It's on the money, gives him a chance to run after the catch. That's a tougher tackle than it looks to stop his momentum. Watch the angle. Elliott Brown's momentum is going to the pylon. Defender coming across. That's a very good tackle.
Hausman with that hit. Ashton Hausman. Freshman Rooker punching it in there for the touchdown for the red team is number 28, Matt Schuster.
right now his former teammates. Lance Brown is texting Brian Schuster that Elliott should have scored, and Matt is very fortunate to get that touchdown. That's how petty we were as teammates. That's an impressive drive. How about the cut? At the point of attack, it's a good job getting your head across from the left tackle. We got us a bowl game here.
Yeah, all of a sudden.
5:44, 3 to play, and the defense, a couple of stops. So if you're a third and out, or third 3 and out, you can get some points. They need to create some cushion here. You can tell they are wearing down. Job of handling the snap. It's the subtle eye roll from Nebraska fans. They have seen that a time or two.
That's right.
Over the last,
no doubt,
3 or 4 years.
So this team opens the season next year, obviously in Ireland on the road, in a Big Ten Conference game against a team that they really manhandled in the Big Ten Conference last year. So you heard earlier, you think Northwestern, they're going to come in ready to play that game. Here's a look at what's at stake. This trophy, I think this isn't a traveling trophy. This is a permanent trophy, a crystal that goes in the trophy case of the winner of that game.
And one of the few press conferences, too, where I had seen Coach Fitzgerald not real happy with the outcome.
August 27th in Ireland. That is Waterford crystal right there.
Got a few of those decorative pieces in your living room, I'm sure, at the old Putney household. Strike me as a Waterford crystal kind of guy.
Might take the one with the... Isn't there one in here?
Well, it's out on the field now.
Oh, no.
It's kind of like your punch bowl, isn't it?
Okay.
Oh, LP, you're my guy.
I like a punch bowl sometimes.
Yeah, it's okay. What happens here? We're down to 3, 35-32.
Sinek back at their quarterback for this red squad. He drove the red team to a score last time he was under center.
A lot of humanity at the defensive tackle spots with Weaver and Marquise Black.
Oh, yeah.
Two big bodies.
What's the defenders? Nice carry there. Gained by Bo Pensick.
They're going to find a way to potentially pull this out. Weaver didn't even get in his stance. And they found a way to get a loss. That was very fortunate for the white defense. I think the conversation would be in the coach's office if the defense would find a way to win this football game.
Oh boy, right? So it gets out of pressure. That was nice move. Very near a first down. Good tempo here by the offense. On the schedule next year, Damon, for Nebraska?
I think, I was kind of alluding to it earlier. I think it's all tough, right? I mean, everybody's going to look at Northwestern and try to fast forward to Oklahoma, but again, coming off a 3-9 season, there are no gimmicks. You don't have a winning record against the team in the West, and you're just not afforded the luxury to look ahead at schedules. Every game is important for this 2022 football team.
After the Northwestern game, though, which is on August 27th in Dublin, Ireland, Aviva Stadium, they'll come back home to face North Dakota and Georgia Southern. And then, as you said, Big Red of the South comes here to Memorial Stadium, Oklahoma, Nebraska, on September 17th. Robinson, the intended receiver there.
I can tell you how I think it's underappreciated. We take it for granted that this fan base is nothing short of phenomenal. I mean, 50,000. First half, they didn't get to see a tackle. It can't be all that fun, but it is about the support. It's about this is our football team. Just making a day of it. It's very Nebraska.
You have a favorite spring game memory?
Yeah, I actually do. Selfishly, it was the one in which I had a kickoff return and a punt return for a touchdown.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
And now we don't do anything.
So that record will stand forever.
And it was like 90-some degrees, and I wasn't, fitness wasn't always my thing. That was the year LP wide open. Hahn in there for the touchdown. Good for Ty Hahn.
And look at the red squad. 42-yard touchdown grab by Ty Hahn.
He was a monster in high school.
Yes.
Good for him. Oh, turned him loose. They combo route. Busted coverage. Celebration. I like that route concept. They ran the post off the corner, and the two guys running down the hallway. It's a me, you, him thing.
$39-35. Well, the kicking, the kicking/field goal game for Nebraska will get a big boost when Timmy Bleekrode comes in, right?
Yeah.
He's the transfer out of Furman.
Two fantastic hits in Buscemi and Bleekrode, and Nebraska has a chance to really change the narrative. You start with kicking balls through the end zone, understanding when to fair catch, changing field position with your punt team, and they've got to get better in the punt return game as well. So when the guys who touch the ball are good in your special teams, you got a chance to be good.
Let's go back down to the sideline with Megan.
Gentlemen, offensive coordinator Mark Whipple has only been on campus for a few short months. However, you can already see the impact he's had on his players from a personal relationship level. At any time and point, he has his quarterbacks constantly around him, just talking back and forth. I had a chance to catch up with quarterback Chubba Purdy, and he said one of his favorite things about Coach Whipple is just that he can pick his brain. He called him a genius, but he's also super laid back and relaxed. So a nice balance that Coach Whipple has when it comes to approaching this quarterback group.
That's a good word, laid back.
There's a look at his resume. Current offensive coordinator, play caller. Coached UMass to Division I AA national title. Of course, he was with the Steelers for a while. Coached Ben Roethlisberger.
I may know that.
That's right.
Best NFL team and
Steelers guy. Arizona Wranglers, speaking of the USFL, it returns this summer, April 16th.
It's a great day. Not only is it my mom's birthday, but it's another football weekend. I loved the USFL because I was so young, unlike yourself. I didn't understand the political climate between the NFL and the USFL.
Just dropped that and kept going, didn't you?
I was all in.
You just dropped that and kept going. So now the white squad needs to make a couple of big plays here. Down by 4, about 2 minutes to go. Back out there, quarterback is Heinrich Harburg.
He gets one of those at scrimmage.
That's a good burst there by Isaiah Harris. Player down in the field, been able to avoid injuries all afternoon until right there.
Yeah, even Hudmacher got up off the field relatively quick. So we can see what happened. Might have been a little friendly fire, undercut. Really, the first couple of things the coaches said that they wanted to accomplish with this spring game was Get out injury-free, get out injury-free, and then I think the third thing was get out injury-free.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons they had that thud in the first half, didn't tackle to the ground. And they're thin in places, you know, there's no doubt.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been difficult to put two teams on opposite sides and play, you know, a true red versus white, which we've seen in the past.
And Coach Frost said he just wasn't interested in seeing, especially along the defensive line and a couple of other places, guys just have to run across the field and change jerseys, and he wanted competitive balance.
The early reviews are certainly good on the changes made by Scott Frost in the coaching staff. 5 new coaches, 4 of them on the offensive side of the football. This defense last year was outstanding. I think it's that, you know, up front is still where the question mark remains.
He's pretty good. I like him quite a bit. Just watch the burst. He's small in stature. Man, will he hit a crease. And that is running through your pads. Those about 205 pounds. You see him just move the pile. See kind of that shift. He runs hard. And he'll get out and go too.
1:15 to go, time ticking away. Your big takeaways.
So a couple of things. Number one, I think I like the fact that the quarterback seemed to be evolving in this offense. Didn't look out of sorts or out of sync. I like the punting game. I think Buscemi's going to be a good one.
That's going to be a 6-point interception right there for the white team.
It's going to seal the win potentially.
Yeah, the white have just taken the lead here, 41-39.
About the break on the ball. This is a long throw. He went hash to hash, and he's late on it, number 1. And that allows the break. I jinxed it. I give it the touchdown pass to Harburg. I take one away with an interception.
Darius Moore steps in front of it, makes the play. The interception.
I'd like to see Alex work his way back to that a little bit, but it's a good break by Moore. I don't know how long that takes to choreograph.
The back end has a lot of young talent.
You're half tempted to go all Walt Kowalski, right, and get all the time on. But I mean, let the kids have fun.
That's right.
Walt.
I had no problem. Overthrows it on the far side. 49 now to go, down by 2. You know they're trying to win this.
Oh, there's no question.
Absolutely.
They either need 2 fourth-down conversions to pull this thing even, or a field goal if they don't get 6.
Dumps it over the middle. Good shoestring top grab by
Victor Jones.
Victor Jones.
He came early. First time we called his name today. Early enrollee, Victor Jones. Here's a chance to get a quick point here.
There it is.
And they've called something special here. You know, not often the staff comes out to call a play. They may have something in the bag here.
The thing about this is neither team can just run out the clock, right?
No.
I mean, it doesn't matter what happens here. There's still going to be a chance for the other team to win it. What a grab right in traffic. That's going to come back, though. Flag in the backfield.
It's a good football player right there in Cooper Jewett.
Holding. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 4th down.
Couple Schaller with his hands in the cookie jar. These edge rushers are coming off the corner.
Timeout. Red. They're first to the half.
Let's go back and watch and see, is it just a tackle thing, or is it just how these edge guys are getting off the ball? Been a lot of short corners today.
Early on, especially from Garrett Nelson, who's
and Jamar Butler, Caleb Tanner.
Yeah. So after spring for Nebraska, David, what typically happens? They go away for a couple weeks and come back and then hit the weights hard in the offseason work.
Yeah, and remember, it's a short summer too, because they'll report on the 31st, I think, of July, and they'll have 1 week off during finals. So they'll hit the ground running here pretty quick.
Fourth down. Going to his left, throw back across his body. And tipped away. And that will do it as the clock expires here on the 2022 Red-White Spring Game.
That is the end of the football game.
And the white team wins it 43-39.
I just want to know what the bet was.
First guy across the field, congratulating everyone, Garrett Nelson. What a leader. Let's go down to the field. Megan's with Coach.
Coach, defense ends up winning it 43-39. Big interception down the end, and also your defense just made plays down the stretch. What impressed you most about their performance in this game?
I thought the defense played good all day. You know, being thud in the first half kind of slowed things down. I'm not even sure what the scoring system was, so I wasn't too worried about that. We just wanted to see some guys block and tackle and do some of those things.
You had the opportunity to see your players do that. What was your biggest takeaway from this game?
I think we're better up front. I think we're better in the backfield. Defense keeps improving, and they're playing together pretty well. Again, we didn't want to show much on offense with some of the things Coach Whipple's brought and some of the stuff we do. So basically just wanted to see the fundamentals of football.
Looking forward to the season, Coach. Thank you so much. Guys?
All right, thank you very much, Megan. Appreciate it. That will do it from the 2022 Red-White Spring Game. Glad you could join us. Coming up next, it's Big Ten Game Break with Tola Hughes. For David Benning, for Megan McEwen and our entire Big Ten Network crew, I'm Larry Putney. Thank you so much for joining us from here in Lincoln, Nebraska at Memorial Stadium. We'll see you next time on the Big Ten Network.